Okay, so firstly, I'd like to thank all of you for staying so attentive and patient during the 5 amazing, right, presentations that we saw today. And as thanks, we'd like to talk about something a little fun, like love.
Have you ever had a moment when you knew that you met the one meant for you? You put all your faith in this one person thinking, wow, now my life is going to be a happily ever after. Well, some people do get this happy life, have children, and grow old together. But some people don't. As a matter of fact, they find their belief of a loving, happy life harshly betrayed and end up trapped in an unwanted marriage with no one to turn to. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. We are Team Happy Wife, Happy Life. And today we wish to talk about a problem in our society that is hindering the foundation of a happy and strong community. It is the mail-order bride marriage problem. Mail-order bride marriage is a type of marriage conducted by professional institutions between a woman from a relatively poor country to a man from a relatively affluent country. It is men that pay for all the expense of the marriage because the very reason why most women offer themselves as mail-order brides is to earn money or to escape the poverty in their homeland. Unfortunately, these mail-order bride marriages are not yielding happy results. Many of these mail-order bride marriages end up badly, and it is the physically and financially weak women who end up getting the short end of the stick. With real letters and interviews by mail-order brides, let me show you exactly what these women are going through. They keep on telling me there's a man waiting outside for me. He is too jealous and keeps on imagining things. He got drunk and hit me. He put a knife to my throat. His fists were scary. My dream was to live as a happy wife, a happy family in Korea. I tried hard to be a good wife, a good mother, but you didn't care about me. I will forgive you when I arrive to Vietnam. Huan Mei, the 20-year-old mail-order bride who wrote this letter, she's dead now. She was beaten to death by her 46-year-old husband after being caught trying to run away. Can you guess how damaged her body was when her parents retrieved it? 18 of her ribs were broken. But this is just the tip of an iceberg. In Korea, mail-order bride marriages have been consistently increasing for over a decade, and it is usually focused around the rural areas. As of year 2008, 40% of all women married to rural fishermen and farmers were foreign. Yet despite this constant increase, domestic issues that these foreign wives suffer from has still remained a very major problem in Korea. Koreans themselves know that there is a very irrational discrimination and sometimes even violence towards these mail-order brides in the society. And they also know that these unfair discrimination is yielding very negative trickling down effects, such as the bad influence on the national brand image. But this awareness has been ineffective in actually solving or addressing any of these issues. What's more, as you can see, the number of runaway brides are still increasing, whether it be due to them wanting divorce or them trying to run away from a violent domestic environment. What's more, the husbands are unwilling to compensate the wives after separation even when there are children involved. As a result, abandoned mail-order brides end up working menial jobs with less than minimum wage or as prostitutes in brothels. This problem is not just unique to South Korea. Other Northeast Asian nations are not immune. As of Japan, it alone takes up 54% of the foreign marriage market in Philippines, which is actually one of the most common sources of mail-order brides. China, which shows a very, very high gender ratio compared to other nations, is also a very popular demander of mail-order brides. Now, let's turn to the more fundamental question. Why is there a trend of mail-order brides in South Korea? There are two major reasons. First, city migration. For a very, very long time, young rural population has been constantly trying to move to cities in hopes of better future, better living environment, a better job. But here's the problem. More young rural women move to cities than young men do. As a result, we have numerous rural men who have long passed their marital age. And what do? They turn overseas to find brides. The second reason is the obedient wife image that is very, very strongly embedded into these mail-order brides. Traditional East Asian culture used to value commitment to husband's family as one of the very strong virtues of wives. I'm sure you would probably all know. But this patriarchal thought has become faint amongst Korean women due to the spread of education and the increase of women's social status. As a result, traditional rural men seek out these obedient foreign mail-order brides to take care of aging in-laws, their parents, cook food for them, or raise children obediently in a given environment. Thank you. And now I will yield the floor to my second co-presenter, Ji-young.
So what are governments doing about this issue right now? What's the government doing in the status quo? Well, in 2006, South Korea finally realized that, oh, we have a problem. We need a solution. And the solution they came up with was a grand plan. Now, the Grand Plan of 2006 aims to achieve the social integration of foreign brides into Korean society and therefore attain a more multicultural society. And the way that it sought to do this was through two different types of policy: preventive measures and remedial measures. Now, by preventive measures, we're talking about marriages that haven't happened yet. And what these measures seek to do is prevent mismatched marriages from happening in the first place. Basically, what these measures do is they ensure that no Vietnamese woman will come to South Korea thinking, I'm going to marry Changun Saku and live in a Gangnam apartment, while no rural Korean man is going to think, I'm going to be getting an Asian Barbie doll who will take care of the household works and everything else we need. On the other hand, remedial policies talk about those marriages that have already happened or those marriages that are going to happen no matter what. These remedial policies include the Happy Start program and the Marriage Guidance program. The Happy Start program focuses more on the social integration of these wives by educating them in language, customs, etc. The International Marriage Guidance Program focuses on guiding these foreign spouses through legal issues. But the thing is, even with these policies that all seem all fine and comprehensive and glorious, we still see that in the status quo, there are women, mail-order brides, who are miserable, cold, and lonely. Why? Why? Well, the first reason is because it doesn't deal properly with social integration. The Japanese and Korean method of dealing with mail-order brides is that of social assimilation, basically cultural assimilation into the host country. Basically, they don't take into account the original culture of these mail-order brides. So if a Philippine woman comes to Japan and she speaks the Philippine language, she eats Philippine food, all of a sudden she's told, you're not Philippine. You're a Japanese person, and you should learn Japanese, and you should learn the Japanese culture. This is shallow of the government and superficial and doesn't deal properly in integrating these women so that they can live properly in a society. Secondly, there are administrative issues. The thing is, these are all the ministries in the Korean government that currently deal with the marriage migrant issue. There are a lot. Now imagine all of these ministries trying to work together and implement a single policy. It doesn't work. It's inefficient. It leads to a lack of cooperation, and it leads to a misallocation of budget. And this is why mail-order brides are still lonely today. So what does our team state that we should do? What does our team state we need so that these women have a place to turn to, so that these women can become independent women who are of equal status with their new husband? Our team offers a comprehensive program, the Happy Wife, Happy Life program, or HWHL for short. This comprehensive program consists of 3 different stages. And through these 3 different stages, we seek one objective: to create a community for these new mail-order brides that they can be well integrated upon. So the first phase of this program is a HWHL boarding school, where these women will be enrolled in for the first 30 days. Now, like the Happy Start program, this HWHL boarding school educates these women on culture and customs and train them to be a better wife. But more importantly, it offers field trips that give them a reality check on what South Korea is actually like. And even more importantly, they ensure that these Korean women have friends, a network within the Korean society so that they can have a place to turn to. So what happens to these women after they graduate? What happens to women who are already married? Well, for these women, we have the concept of ké. It's an age-old Korean concept in a Korean village where a group meets for the purpose of mutual financial aid. Basically, a group of people meet and they pool money together, and once a month, one person can use this whole pot of money for his or her very own. But you might be wondering why our grand plan, in essence, is a community bank. But a ké is not a mere community bank, because it deals with finance, because it is in a Korean village, because it is in a Japanese village, which are quite closely knitted and tight. All these members are closely invested in each other. They trust each other. They're a small family within the village. And we believe that through making these villages, through making these kids in the rural villages of mail-order brides, that we can give these women a place to turn to. They will have accessibility to these kids. They will have companionship because they have legality, because we ensure that one person with legal knowledge will always be present so that these women know how to deal with legal issues. And they will most importantly have connectivity, internet access, so that they can talk to their real family whenever they're lonely. The final stage of our program is a last resort. It's called the No Love, No Pay policy. And it's a security deposit made by the husband to the HWHLK, which will be used in the case that he gives his wife too much tough love in the form of abuse. If he does, this money will be used for legal and treatment fees, and even for repatriation of the wife if she wishes it. Of course, if there is no incident within 3 years, then they will be given their security deposit back and live happily ever after. So in conclusion, our group saw that the government wasn't properly dealing with an important problem in our society today, that it was creating more Hwanmeis with more mangled bodies. And our group says that we need to give these women a sense of security, a sense of camaraderie, a sense of friendship, because happy wives lead to happy lives. Thank you.